Thank you so much. I want to start off with a question. Have you ever felt like you've had an idea or a contribution and not felt heard? Or maybe, okay, all the honest folks are raising their hands, thank you. Okay, thank you. Or have you ever maybe even felt like your access has been blocked? Mm-hmm. That was me. I wondered, and it sparked a curiosity when I was told I wasn't good enough at a very young age to be in a small, exclusive private school in San Francisco. It sparked a curiosity that who gets to decide who's good enough. And what I learned is that we're all good enough. And I've also learned that there's a next level for all of us. So without further ado, I am so excited thinking about the possibility for every generation. I'd love to introduce to you an incredible panel that we're going to get real with. If that's okay? Is that okay with you guys? Yes. Okay, and we're going to talk about real solutions. All right, ladies, you ready? So we'd like to start off with Amy Protexter of Insight. Come on up, Amy. It's so nice to have you. All right, Eileen Sullys, Rising Tide. So honored to have you.
Clap once, guys.
All right, Linda Rose of RoseBiz. Come on down. All right, JJ Conway. Woo! So excited to have you. And also, Sienna South Sierra. Come on down. Let's give Sienna an extra round of applause because her voice is so important, even more important than you might realize. So we're going to get started. We're going to cover just 2 questions. And like I mentioned, I asked their permission and they were okay, but hopefully we have your permission to maybe even make you a little bit uncomfortable. Is that okay? Okay. So the first question I would like to know, and let's start with Linda, if that's okay?
Sure.
What is a struggle that you had early in your career? And thinking about that struggle, what would your current self advise your younger self right now?
So that's a good question. I've been in this channel, I would say Microsoft channel, for 25 plus years. And during that process, I started 4 companies, sold 3 of them, 2 of them for all cash. And I will be the first to say that I made a lot of mistakes during that process of both starting and selling those companies. And I think what I would tell my younger self, the first thing is commoditization is a bad word. You never want to be commoditized. So if you're going to spend 25 plus years as a technologist, and it's an amazing place to be for this period of time, you have to realize that you're going to have to reinvent yourself more than once. I reinvented myself at least 4 times, probably once every 7 years. You cannot get comfortable and not be in a comfort zone and think, okay, because it's cool here, we're making money, we're making profits, we just stay here. Technology will pass you by and pass you by quickly. So you have to continuously think about that. I think the second thing for me, and it took a very long time for me to learn about it myself, again, as an entrepreneur, I didn't have somebody else's glass ceiling. I had my own glass ceiling.
Give him the main point. I don't mean to cut you off.
Absolutely. And as your own glass ceiling, you need to learn how to bust through that. And sometimes it's not doing it through your work. Sometimes you have to get out there and challenge yourself, whether that's jumping out of an airplane or climbing up a mountain or doing whatever it is to take you out of your comfort zone. Bust your own glass ceiling. The quicker you can do it, the quicker you will rise and shine.
Okay, so do not commoditize and do something that scares you.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay, if we can hear from Amy Protexter, can you speak to that? And I want to know a struggle. We're getting real with this conversation.
Yeah, well, I have one for sure. So my first job out of college, I was only the second professional woman in the South Dakota Department of Transportation, and I started as a public information officer, and the only other woman was the chief financial officer. Every other female in this 1,200-person department were administrative assistants. So I came into this group of crusty old engineers as a young thing right out of college. And I think I did one thing well without really knowing it, and I wish I would have done one other thing. The thing I did well is I did not expect or felt like I deserved their trust and respect until I had earned it. And I found that after I was helping them better craft their communications, instead of them patting me on the head and saying, why would you need to know something like that? They were lining up at my desk to say, could you help me with something? And I just did the work to earn the trust and respect. The second thing I would say, which I wish I would have done more of, this is the getting real part, is I wish I would have volunteered for more uncomfortable things. Like I wish I would have not stayed in my safe zone doing what I knew I could do. I wish I would have taken a few more chances and raised my hand a few more times to get involved in things that maybe I didn't quite feel comfortable with, either because I didn't felt like I knew or I felt like they wouldn't accept me.
Thank you for bringing that up. Has anyone ever felt in their heart that they should raise their hand and speak up, but they didn't? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. So the amazing Eileen Sullys, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so you want shit to get real right now? I'll tell you exactly what happened.
I love it.
I was in college, came home for Christmas, and found out that I was pregnant, right? So that was not the plan.
Yeah.
Decided to, and I'm going to keep this real short because it's a great story, but decided I was going to become a parent, okay, which is why I am still the strongest pro-choice advocate you'll ever meet in your life, because I made my choice and not anyone else's. I held that, thank you, and I will fight for everybody's right till the day I die, including my daughter's. I went into the workforce, uneducated, single mother, teenage, college dropout, all those things, right, that said I was not trustworthy, I couldn't be relied upon, I was going to be late for work, I wasn't going to commit myself to the work. Found some sponsors along the way who really rolled the dice and saw some potential in me that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe it was there. I didn't know what I could do. I spent 12 years at a company called Gartner Group. We were a group back then, now we're Gartner. I became a research analyst at Gartner without an undergraduate degree. I landed in a job I had no business having, and I was scared to death that someone was gonna call my bluff. Nobody ever did. My clients loved me, my coworkers loved me, and this one guy loved me a little too much. Yeah. Okay? This was the challenge. I was a 29-year-old overachiever who needed this job to sustain my life and to support my kid, and that guy knew it. And he pulled me into a conference room one day. I reported to him. Pulled me into a conference room, shut the door, and said, "We need to talk about something. I'm madly in love with you." And I went, okay. I stood up and I walked out the door. I went right to his reporting manager, who, thank God, had my back. And I said, I need a new boss today. Can you help me with that? And he did. And that's the end of that story.
So thank you, now, Eileen. That's huge. Right? I don't mean to cut you off, but we need to get everyone else.
That's it.
But what I'm hearing is decide. So you're the only one. You're good enough. Give yourself,
and own your space.
Give yourself permission to speak up on many different levels. Thank you for sharing that story.
Was that real enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, JJ.
I'm going to be real, too, because the very first challenge I faced was as a cadet at the Air Force Academy 27 years ago, and I wanted to declare physics as my major, and I was told, you can't do that because blacks can't do physics.
Jesus.
And I had struggles. I did the best I could do, but at one point my advisor told me, look, if you'll stop coming into my office for help, I'll stop giving you the wrong answers. My job is to get rid of you, and you just will not go away. And so that defined a military career where I did end up being captain of the physics team and doing all this other stuff.
Honestly,
I've been able to chair some of our nation's highest intelligence and technical committees, and it took 19 of those 20-something years to be able to walk into a room and not be handed the trash or told where to draw the slides when my name is Conway and I'm the chair of the committee. So for me, if I could talk to my younger self, I would encourage her to establish your confidence through two things. One is to understand, and these are the things that I help people with now because it's so important to my success, but one is to understand how you're wired and how you're made and be okay with being unique, and that's one of the things we work on. And the other one is financial stability. And we're here at a tech conference, but one of the number one things that women need today is financial stability. Lack of financial stability keeps us trapped in domestic violence situations. Lack of financial stability keeps us accepting 78% on the dollar. Or what was that stat for Latinas and African Americans? 48%. That's what keeps us down because we don't know that we can lift up. And I really appreciate this forum for being a way to give all of us access and get what we need to get.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say thank you for bringing that up, JJ. And when you're actually looking at the top 1% of leadership, that number goes way down. Mm-hmm. So thank you for bringing that up, and that's across the board for women across the board. So Sienna, your voice is so important because you have a fresh perspective on technology, you have a fresh perspective on the workplace, and you are a future leader. So why don't you share?
Wow, this is powerful stuff. We're all getting real. Okay, so I'm a student and I've been really focused on my career. This question really resonates with me because it is me right now. It's what I think about all the time. And the biggest struggle that I've been facing is finding an internship or experience, because I've learned that you need this in order to have that future career, in order to make a difference later on. And I was fortunate enough last year, I was at the summit. I'm not sure if you guys were there, but at the very beginning of the summit, the MC announced me and had me stand up in front of everybody. I was super nervous. Oh my gosh. And she basically said, this is Sienna, she goes to UW, and she's looking for an internship. And I was super fortunate. Multiple people came up to me, offered me an internship, and I actually got an internship last year. So that was, thanks. So that's kind of my motive, is I want to get more women in the tech field. And I think we need to leverage my generation in order to achieve this. And I think that, so someone did take a chance on me last year. I got that internship, and I believe if everyone gives someone a chance, we're able to make an impact in this industry and achieve what Women in Cloud set out to do. So,
thank you. And if you don't mind, I'd like to add on to that. I would just say that giving a chance, yes, but also as a young person, speak up too. Yeah. You're good enough. Listen to this and don't let this get in the way, because we need you. Right? Would you agree? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go there again, if that's okay. Can you share something within all of your amazing organizations when it comes to access for multi-generational leadership? What is something that's really working? And what's something that you're just like, this needs to change? What is number one on the list to change? So can we start with you, JJ?
Okay, so I have mixed feelings on this because part of what needs to change can't come from within my organization. And many of you know I'm active duty military. I'm going to be as quick as I can, but I also serve people through my own company because of the issues with diversity and access for women to the positions that they need in the military. So one thing that I think is going better is that society is demanding a change. And I think forums like this help push that. But one thing that really needs a lot of work is that women need their own financial stability. You know, we have programs to help men, but when I came home from military deployment to find my house sold, my stuff thrown out, and $845,000 of divorce debt, there were no programs to help me. Nobody cared about helping me. And it's sad to say I've pulled myself out and I'm helping pull other women out, but the Air Force still doesn't have, not just the Air Force, but the military and the veterans still don't have those services to support women in my situation.
Is there one thing that you could just share, like one thing that we can do starting tomorrow to encourage that to happen?
I like what Sienna said. Take a chance on someone and pull them up. so that they know that they can do it. You can't tell me that I can't overcome. I've overcome enough, and so have the women on this panel. You can't tell any of us we can't make it. We know we can, and somebody else needs a chance taken on them so they know that they can also make it and they can lift up and overcome.
Yes. You say. All right, so Sienna, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I'm taking a chance.
Well, taking a chance, but also within, Sienna is the co-founder, by the way, of Mentor Me, and also the director of marketing. So, oh my gosh, that's amazing in and of itself. But within your organization, your new organization, can you share one thing that's working really well when it comes to unlocking the potential in multiple generations, and maybe one thing that, you know, needs a little work?
Yeah, well, so I'm a woman entrepreneur, which I guess is all woman cloud. And I realize, like, as a student, like, it's really hard. Like, there's a lot of struggles with trying to find funding and finding help. So I feel like that is one thing that if we help people like me who are trying to start an organization, we could really make an impact, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So, Amy, what's one thing, because I know you're killing it in a lot of aspects, because I've had the honor of speaking with you, but can you get real with us too and say one thing that needs some work?
Yeah. Really quickly, I lead a very large marketing team. I would say a very big share of that team is a very incredibly powerful force of young, creative minds who understand technology, who understand social media, who understand the way the world works today in ways that maybe older generations don't quite get. And I love that about them. They bring so much energy and passion and great ideas. And when that gets unlocked, I think it's incredible. But I think the one thing that is missing is, like, if you did not take business classes in college, understand the business that you're going to go work for, whether it's in technology, whether it's in marketing, whatever the sort of functional area you might be part of. You can't really take all those creative ideas and have an impact if you can't make the connection to what it does for the business. Like, what is the outcome that you're going to drive? It can't just be a wonderfully passionate creative idea. It's got to be for a purpose. There has to be some fact-based outcome. And so I think that's probably the one thing I would really encourage. If you didn't come through business school, make sure you understand how business works and what that company's motivations are. What is it trying to achieve, and connect your creativity to that.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is that also is when you're coming in as a young person, like when you're new, make sure you have that business acumen so you can get off to the races and get off to the races quicker. Okay, Linda.
I think when we talk about diversity and inclusion, I think we also need to include in that category ageism. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I can walk into a doctor's office, a lady's doctor's office, and if she has gray hair, I think she has wisdom and she's done a lot of work and she's had a lot of clients that she's helped and cured. I walk into an attorney's office, and if she has gray hair, I think, wow, she has tried a lot of cases, she's seen a lot of things, she understands this legal system, she's got a lot of experience behind those years. You talk about a technologist with gray hair, we think, are they current? Are they staying current? Do they know what the latest gadget is? Are they using the latest apps? And I think we need to throw away that mindset a little bit, because there's a lot of collective wisdom in this group of people that are over 55 that maybe we're gray or we're hiding our gray in my case.
Not anymore.
Yes. Good for you. that we need to embrace that and include that in our discussion around diversity and inclusion.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, because sometimes that's a perspective that we don't think about. And so, Eileen, in about 25 seconds, give us your best stuff.
I would say if you've achieved some level of success, lift while rising. Continually look back and see who can you pull through with you, who needs your help the most, and it's likely someone who doesn't look or love or pray the way that you do. Find them, nurture them, and pull them up with you, because that's going to change the game for every single person in this room.
And I hope you all have taken away some golden nuggets and some real actionable items, because I have seen the transformation in thousands of women. And if you can imagine for a moment what would happen if we all believed in the possibilities, if we all achieve that next level together, I really believe that we can change the world, and this is a group that's going to make it happen. Thank you so much to these amazing, amazing panelists, and I look forward to interacting with you and speak with you. Thank you so much.